lush green fields of the Philippines, rolling through tropical village scenes. New friends made along the way, sharing stories at the break of day.
Hello and welcome to Arizona Trails, the Philippine Tales. My name is Steve and welcome to week number 78 of the Philippine House Build. And like I said in last week's video, we were ready to start moving in, so stay tuned for that. But before we get into that, here is Tinfoil Hat to retirement, because no matter where you are in the world, inflation is going up. So you just need to find a place, it doesn't necessarily have to be the Philippines, that will give you or provide you the same goods and services but at a cheaper rate, and that treats you and your money well. So again, here's Tinfoil Hat to retirement.
I wear a tinfoil hat like a crown on the hill. The crypto report dropped, now we're paying with Venmo bills. The truth's too spicy, so we swallow a lie. RLUSD stable, but the country's gonna fry. Don't trade the farts, bodies in bins. Ozzy and Hogan took off in a whirlwind spin. Back to Kenya yells at ghosts from the past, while the files pile up and collapse comes fast. Import no more, deport with flair. Meanwhile, nobody's cup, just blank stares. The numbers don't lie, but the chart sure twitches. The Republic runs like a glitchy Nintendo Switch. I don't always, she said, but when I do, he funds the debt with dog pics and Diet Mountain Dew. Shocked to the core like a TikTok trend. The anthem loops and we pretend it might end.
Alright, that was Tinfoil Hat to retirement. And like I said, last week we wanted to move into the house. We did move into the house and we spent the weekend, but we've had a couple of issues that came up, and I'm going to be doing the outside from now on. So the inside is pretty much complete. I tell you, after moving things from the rental into the house, we had a lot of things. We've been 10 months now in the Philippines, so of course we had dishes, we had clothes, we had things that we had bought, and then we decided to open up all of our boxes that we sent from the United States here. So now our bedroom looks like an ukay store. So we'll go ahead, and the house is completed on the inside. So now everything is pretty much the outside. So one of the issues that we ran into, and as I walked down here, was the electric. 12 kilowatt system is a really good system to have. Matter of fact, it did provide a lot of our needs, both for the construction workers and us, except using the air conditioning unit 24/7 and trying to cool off the house from the humidity on the inside, and then having all that electricity. Not only that, we had a typhoon go through, and we didn't get the typhoon or the flooding like Manila did down here in Leyte, but it was very heavy rain, very dark clouds. So I think about Thursday or so, we didn't fully charge on the batteries, and by midnight, our air conditioning went out. So from midnight until daytime, we were without electricity. So it was sort of like a normal brownout. So again, here in the Philippines, you have these things called brownouts. They take effect, and I do recommend that you either get a generator or a solar system product to try and actually get through those brownouts. So let's go ahead over here, and just to give you an idea. So what ended up happening was, and you can see their stickers right here, JMC. Let's see here. If you look at JMC, the stickers up there, JMC Power are the ones that supply the solar panels. And it is morning time, so the sun just started coming up. There's usually 6 bars on the batteries, so it looks like We used about maybe half throughout the night, and it's already starting to recharge again. So when I start learning how this panel works, I will tell you exactly how much power we are using, and also what is being brought in by the LACO company. So this is our city, LACO. So LACO City Power is now plugged in. That's why we have a green light, and they did put the stickers on there for normal. Anytime that we do experience a brownout, then of course that will go from green to red and show that we are using batteries only. So of course now we are flashing 3, so it's starting to charge, and we are getting up that way. And then, so that was one of the issues. So we do have electricity now from the city, or the city electric is now going in, it's connected. And so, but we mostly use solar. Whatever we don't use, so if we do drain the batteries and we start using electric, then of course we'll pay for that electric. But if electricity is coming in from the company and we don't use it, or we're supplying electric back, then we'll get credits for this electricity, either on our bill or in the form of money. But I think they'll pretty much give credits. So that's taking place. Another thing that they're doing out here is, as you can tell, they are starting to try and get everything ground level. So they have dirt back here. So see, they're trying to do the ground level. Another thing they've been working on the outside is, of course, the wall and plumbing. So this is our plumbing that's going out. Like I said, we do have a now, so this is our propane tank, and the propane tank right now is just sitting on the stairs, and it's got a line that goes in, and then that goes into the inside of the dirty kitchen, and that's where that gas stove was that is now getting gas in there. But eventually there'll be a staircase here that will go up to the roof deck, and the tank will actually sit, there'll be a place underneath the stairs for that propane tank to sit. And then, so here's our plumbing and water. They're also working on drainage. So any of the water that comes through drain is also going to be taken care of. So this is the wall. And we do have, now you can sort of see the distance between the wall and the home of how much yard we have. Again, like I said, filling up the dirt, trying to make it ground level. This is our cover for the lanai, and I've showed this from the other side of the hallway before. So stairs going up, we got our flower boxes on each side, and eventually that cover, again, will have a plastic cover that goes on top, not necessarily providing shade, but keeping you out of the rain, and you can still enjoy the lanai area and sit outside. And again, drainage that they're working on. Air conditioning has been really a blessing. This will be the view, sort of looking out this way. And then we'll walk back here. And speaking of plumbing, that was another issue that we had. So we have 2 tanks, one big tank, one small tank. The smaller tank is at the top. The bigger tank is on the bottom. Water flows in from the city. So now it's sort of like the electric. City water flows into the big tank. And then once water is filling that big tank, it moves up into the little tank. And then when the little tank is full, then of course that water flows back down into the house. Well, one day, about 5 o'clock in the afternoon, all of a sudden we didn't have water. And we're thinking, there should be water in those tanks. So we looked, and yes, there was water in the tanks, but what was happening was the level of the top tank was down low enough to where it wasn't flowing down, and the other tank, the big tank that holds the water, wasn't flowing up. So there's a thing called a booster pump here, and you hook up the booster pump, and then that's supposed to push the water from the big tank up into the little tank so that way it can come down. And then you got to have a float level so that way the booster pump turns off when the top tank is full, and then of course we use that water that's in the top tank. So again, we do have lights now out front here, and lanai lights. Again, they're trying to make this ground level, so they've been bringing in dirt. So we'll just walk back here. Lots of buy-in boxes that we unpacked, just due to the fact that we brought a lot of stuff from America. I know a lot of this video is just going to be me rambling about stuff, but it's all part of the process of not only building a house in the Philippines, but moving to the Philippines, living in the Philippines, living in a foreign country. Just some of the things that need to take place that you discover. I mean, are you going to sell everything that you have in the United States? What items are you going to bring to the country that you're moving to? Because there were things that we wanted to keep. We have them in a storage in the United States. We brought things here that we thought we needed, but I tell you, Flora brought a lot of kitchen items and plates and glasses and things, and I brought a lot of electronic items like cables and power cords and power supplies and HDMI cables. You know, a lot of that stuff I could have got when I was here, but I don't know. I got a lot of cables. All right, so you can sort of see our yard now between the wall and the house, because this back part is now made. So this is going back. So we have, I think it's 6 feet between the wall and the house. So we got 6 feet behind the house, and they're still working on the drainage. And this is, again, the pump area that I'm walking back to. I'm just let you look down here on the ground. So a lot of this has already been filled in. So this is the piping and the drainage that goes into the house. And they're still working on drainage there. So this is the all the water that goes up. And you're looking at the main. So the tank is up there at the top, is a smaller tank. This is the bigger tank. So again, water flows from the city into the big tank. I do not know where they installed the booster pump. I don't know if it's over here. I think that's where they put it. I'm just looking over here. Yes, that's where they put it. So water was coming into the tank from the city. So you can see the water comes in, goes into the tank, fills the tank. Then you have a booster pump down here that connects and then goes up and goes up to the smaller tank there. So this is what is transpiring over here. So again, making this ground level. So a lot of plumbing, a lot of water going into this way here. So you can see back here, drainage there, and also water there. All right, so you can see a lot of the water. And all the piping that goes up to that tank and then flows back down into the house over there. And then drainage. We still have our water. So here's our main water line. Funny thing about these hoses, everybody has these small black, see, they're about an inch, not even an inch, I'd say a half an inch diameter of water. And they're all buried out here. They are putting the wall, so wall goes down. Now, since the ground's a little bit higher here, now I can actually, my head is actually above the wall a little bit. It's just where this ground is leveling out, but they are putting the post up, making sure everything is concreted. So water, drainage, still doing the forms for the concrete. Here is the wheelbarrow. This is what they use to bring in all the dirt. So again, looking down into the trenches, see how far deep they go down? So this is almost like the foundation of the house is this deep. So it does go down into the ground, and then so you can see how they actually concrete these posts, put the rebar in, and then so we got trenches on both sides. So this will be the drainage and the water. This will be where the wall goes in. Still got our concrete blocks ready. Again, drainage, water, and they've already started making everything hard in here as well. So this is this part down here. They see how the base is concreted. They got the form up, so that's going to be a concreted post. And the reason why they did this one first was because see that post right there? That post is where our electrical line is coming in. So what they did was, see, here's the electrical post where all the houses are connected into this one post. So what we did was we took our line and connected it to this post right here and then ran it down. So we do have electrical that also goes in here somewhere. I know the electrical is connected. So yes, that is this part right here. I'm just going to go over to this other area. All right. So again, it's going to be this post right here is the electrical post, and it goes down. So see how the electric is actually connected in and then comes down the post right there. So that's where that electric comes in, which gives the house. And see, this will be where the wall is. We still have a lot of outside painting to do, like I said. So outside painting. I'm just glad a lot of this isn't muddy, especially after a rain. I'm glad I think our drainage system will work pretty well. And then these, have you ever seen in the Philippines, these are all the different meters of, so when the electric bill comes out, they post the electric bill like to the meters. I don't even know which one is our meter, but they'll put them here, and you can see all the way to the top how these electrical lines come in, and then they go all the way up to the top, come down. But like I said, we branched ours off, put it into a post there. So that's pretty interesting how they got all the meters right there. Same thing they do with the water too. They got water meters, and I think I showed the water meters before. So this is like everybody's water meters, and they'll just line them up along the street, and then those black tubes is what they use for the water. Again, 1/2-inch tubes that goes to everybody, and there's lots of leaks and things like that that takes place. All right, so that's pretty much it on the outside. I mean, the biggest things again was water, electricity, drainage, the wall, and also filling in the dirt, trying to make everything ground level. We do have right here, just at the base of the garage, a little place to put up the motorcycle. All the tiling is done in the front. It's just that we need outside painting to be done. The garage up here needs all their electrical to be done and painted. And then of course the putting in everything as far as stairs to the roof deck, lights, and finishing up the wall and putting in a gate. So again, this is everything that is being done at this time in the morning So thank you again for tuning in. So thank you again for joining Arizona Trails, the Philippine Tales for week number 78 of the Philippine House Build. Stay tuned for next week. Have a great day. Bye-bye.